All right, let's dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a man whose life is just an unbelievable crossover between high-stakes military conflict zones and elite intercounty sports management. We are talking about the incredible story of Stephen Molumphy. It's so rare to find a leader who operates at the absolute highest levels of international military service and top-tier hurling, but that is exactly who has just taken one of the biggest jobs in the game.
So here's how we're going to break it all down today. We'll start with his homecoming, look at the team he's assembling, step into his life far beyond the pitch, explore how he built a new kingdom in Kerry, and finally look at the massive challenge ahead.
Part 1. The Homecoming. A return to the Déise. Let's start with the absolutely massive news from early August 2026 that literally electrified hurling fans. Stephen Molumphy is coming home. He was officially appointed as the Waterford senior hurling manager on a 3-year term. And what makes this so wild is the context, right? He's returning straight from a post with the Defence Forces in Brussels. Emerging ahead of Tipperary legend Brendan Cummins to succeed Peter Qualley, Molumphy is finally taking the reins of his native county. And for Waterford fans, you know his pedigree is just undeniable. We're talking a 2006 debut, an All-Star in 2007, and he famously captained the Déise to a Munster title back in 2010. But listen to this detail from his playing days. In 2007, he won a Waterford Senior Hurling Championship medal with Ballyduff Upper, and he lined out alongside his 4 brothers. Yeah, Patrick, Michael, Thomas, and Edward, all taking down Ballygunner together. I mean, the guy literally has winning in his blood.
Okay, moving on to part 2, assembling the team, legends and new faces. Now, he hasn't wasted any time surrounding himself with a really smart mix of Waterford royalty and fresh, specialized expertise. It's a seriously balanced backroom team. You've got the immense on-field experience of Mount Sion legend Ken McGrath, a guy with 4 Munster medals in his back pocket. Then, for continuity, he kept Nigel Skehan from the previous setup. Add in Shane Briggs with his recent Carlow experience, and finally, Kilkenny's Mickey Comerford taking charge as the lead strength and conditioning coach. It's a highly deliberate, really well-rounded brain trust.
All right, part 3, life beyond the pitch, the lieutenant colonel. But you see, to really understand his management style, we have to look way beyond the white lines of the hurling pitch. Stephen Molumphy actually holds the rank of lieutenant colonel in the Irish Defence Forces. Following the Russian invasion of Crimea, his work with the EU military assistance mission put him directly in the reality of European conflict. We're talking multiple tours in a country at war, Ukraine. And this stark duality in his life is just staggering. On one hand, he's witnessed the heartbreaking routine of war, where Ukrainian children know exactly what to do the literal second an air alarm sounds. And on the other hand, his past tours in Chad and Syria gave him this profound appreciation for the absolute simplest comforts. Things like, a glass of cold milk or a shower that lasts longer than 30 seconds. This level of perspective is something very, very few sports managers ever bring to a dressing room. Reporting purely on what he saw firsthand, Molumphy was deeply moved by the incredible unity of the Ukrainian people. He talked about being completely in awe of their resilience and determination, pointing out how they captured global admiration by fighting to keep their freedom against a far larger, heavily resourced opponent. And he grounds this modern conflict in a historical context, noting the profound similarities to Ireland's own struggles against domination and repression. It is exactly this deep understanding of human resilience and collective struggle that informs how he views group dynamics. Which leads us perfectly to this specific concept, esprit de corps. It means a feeling of pride, fellowship, and common loyalty shared by members of a group. This military concept perfectly bridges his life as a soldier and a manager. It's the exact philosophy he uses to build elite sporting teams. For him, it's all about total, absolute commitment to the unit. Section 4 now. Building a new kingdom, the Kerry transformation. Let's take a look at his managerial track record and see how he builds this esprit de corps winning culture, step by step. Before taking the top job in Waterford, he really cut his teeth in club management with Castlemartyr back in 2016. Then, he stepped up as a selector for Wexford under Davy Fitzgerald, actually helping them secure a Leinster title in 2019. After that, he took on a massive rebuilding project as the senior manager of Kerry from 2021 to 2024. And in Kerry, he didn't just win games, he fundamentally changed the culture. He led them to the 2022 Joe McDonagh Cup final and pulled off a historic first-ever senior hurling win over Tipperary. But honestly, the bigger story is how he established a culture of what he calls unseen work. He demanded absolute commitment,
dummy runs off the ball, and ran an open panel where only your relentless work rate determined if you kept your jersey.
So the most crucial point here is this number, 24. During his tenure, Molumphy took a Kerry squad with a pretty aging profile and drastically lowered the average age of the side from 35 all the way down to a vibrant, energetic 24. That is an absolute ground-up overhaul of a team's foundation.
And to achieve that massive youth movement, he fearlessly blooded exactly 18 new players into the inter-county arena before he had to step down in 2024 due to his military postings. 18! It just goes to show he's not afraid to rip up the script and put his trust in youth as long as they're willing to put in that unseen work.
All right, our final section, the challenge ahead, Waterford 2027. Which brings us to the monumental task staring him in the face right now. The competition in 2027 is going to be historically fierce. He's entering the top tier alongside some major new management shakeups, stepping into the ring against peers like Ken McGrath over in Tipperary and Henry Shefflin in Kilkenny. And on top of all that, he carries the heavy weight of ending a provincial drought for Waterford that stretches all the way back to 2010. And hey, ironically enough, the very last time Waterford lifted that Munster Cup, it was Stephen Molumphy himself wearing the captain's armband. So it leaves us with this really compelling question. Is a lieutenant colonel exactly what the Déise need to finally cross the finish line? Can this completely unique blend of elite military discipline mixed with his proven ability to rebuild a squad from the ground up actually forge a new golden era for Waterford hurling? Ultimately, it all circles back to this one guiding principle. As Molumphy himself put it, whether we win or we fail, we want players who will give 100%, who will go to war with the guy beside them. For Stephen Molumphy, going to war with the guy beside you isn't just some catchy motivational sports cliche. No, it is a way of life, forged on actual front lines. He is bringing this exact mindset home to Waterford, but the ultimate question remains. When the whistle blows in 2027, will the Déise be ready to go to war?